The icy wind clawed at the windows of the high-rise. But inside his corner office, Adrian Blackwood, CEO of Blackwood Industries, felt nothing but the familiar, sterile warmth of success. He was the last one in the building, as usual, reviewing quarterly reports that meant nothing compared to the cold outside. A soft, hesitant knock on his door made him frown. "Come in," he said, his voice devoid of warmth. "If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from." The door creaked open, and a small girl, no older than 7, stood there. She was wrapped in a coat that was too thin. Her cheeks flushed from the cold, and her eyes, wide and shimmering with unshed tears, locked onto his. She clutched a worn-out teddy bear to her chest. "Sir," she whispered, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind. "My mom didn't come home last night." Adrian's first instinct was to call security. This was a place of business, not a lost and found for children. But something in the girl's gaze held him captive. It was a look of pure, unadulterated despair. "Who are you?" he asked, his tone softer than he intended. "I'm Lily," she said. "My mom cleans the offices on the 5th floor at night. She always comes home before I wake up. But when I woke up this morning, she wasn't there. I waited and waited, and then I walked here. The door was open." Adrian remembered now. A night cleaning crew. He looked at his clock. It was 7 p.m. The child had been alone all day. He stood up, his large frame suddenly feeling inadequate. "Did you try calling her?" "Her phone just rings and rings," Lily said, a single tear finally escaping and tracing a path down her cold cheek. "Please, sir, can you help me find her?" "It's snowing so hard outside." Adrian looked past her, through the floor-to-ceiling windows. He saw the snow not as a picturesque scene, but as a relentless, swallowing whiteout. His own mother had worked nights. He remembered the anxiety, the waiting, the fear that one day she wouldn't come back. He had built an empire to escape that feeling of powerlessness. Yet here it was, standing right in front of him in the form of a tiny, frightened girl. Without another word, he grabbed his heavy overcoat and wrapped it around Lily's small shoulders. It engulfed her, but she clutched it gratefully. "Come on, Lily," he said, his voice now firm with a purpose it hadn't held in years. "We'll find her." They stepped out of the gleaming tower into the heart of the blizzard. The wind stole their breath. Adrian, guided by Lily's small, cold hand, followed the route her mother would have taken to the bus stop. The snow was already deep, muffling the city into an eerie silence. They walked for what felt like an eternity, past shuttered shops and cars buried under white blankets. Lily pointed. "She sometimes takes a shortcut through that little park." It was a small wooded area, now a treacherous landscape of hidden roots and snowdrifts. Adrian, holding Lily tightly, pushed forward, his expensive shoes filling with snow. He was about to suggest they turn back to call the police when he saw it. A dark shape at the base of a large oak tree. His heart lurched. He rushed forward, pulling Lily behind him. It was a woman curled up, her cleaning uniform visible beneath a light jacket. She was unconscious, her skin pale as the snow around her. A thin line of red marked her temple, where she must have slipped on a hidden patch of ice. Lily cried out, "Mommy!" and tried to run to her, but Adrian held her back. He knelt in the snow, gently checking the woman's pulse. It was there, faint but there. Relief washed over him, so potent it made him dizzy. He pulled out his phone, grateful for the single bar of signal, and called for an ambulance, giving their location with precise, desperate clarity. Then he did something the board of directors would never believe. He shrugged off his own suit jacket, the one that cost more than most people's monthly rent, and laid it over the woman. He then took off his scarf and wrapped it carefully around her neck. He cradled her head in his lap, using his own body to shield her from the worst of the wind. Lily huddled beside them, holding her mother's limp hand, the teddy bear now resting on her mother's chest. They waited in the swirling snow, a multi-millionaire CEO, a little girl, and an unconscious cleaner, bound together by a single simple thread of humanity. The sirens finally pierced the storm, a welcome sound. Paramedics rushed over, gently lifting the woman onto a stretcher. As they loaded her into the warm ambulance, her eyes fluttered open for a moment, confused and scared. They landed on Adrian, a stranger in a snow-dusted shirt, kneeling in the snow. "Your daughter," Adrian said, his voice hoarse. "She's very brave. She came to find you." The mother's gaze shifted to Lily, who was being lifted into the ambulance by a paramedic. A look of profound love and relief crossed her face before she slipped back into unconsciousness. The next day at the hospital, Adrian sat in a stiff plastic chair in the waiting room. A nurse approached him. "Mr. Blackwood, the patient, Ella Martinez, is asking for you." He walked into the room. Ella was awake, a bandage on her head, but her eyes were bright. Lily was curled up on the bed beside her, fast asleep. "Sir," Ella whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know how to thank you. They said if I had been out there much longer." She couldn't finish. Adrian looked at Lily, sleeping peacefully. He thought of the fear in her eyes the night before. "Don't thank me," he said quietly. "Thank your daughter. She has a heart bigger than this whole city." He paused, then took a business card from his pocket. "When you're better, come and see me. I have a new position opening up at my company, one that starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 5 p.m. It comes with health insurance and a very good daycare center downstairs." Ella stared at the card, then at him, her mouth opening and closing in shock. Adrian just smiled, a real, genuine smile that felt foreign on his face but incredibly right. He reached out and gently patted Lily's head. As he turned to leave, he knew he hadn't just changed their lives. In the heart of a snowstorm, a little girl had changed his. If this heartwarming tale of kindness in a blizzard touched your heart, please show your support for Kindness True Stories by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs to hear a story like this, and subscribing to our channel for more real-life stories that restore your faith in humanity. Together, let's spread the warmth.